Welcome back to the garage. My name is Zane. Now before this video goes any further, you may be wondering to yourself, why do I look different than I do in some of these other videos? I'm wearing a different outfit. Well, let's go over this before the video goes any further. First things first, I've got my rubber boots on so I can walk around in the slop mud that this project is sitting in. I've got my work uniform on because it's too late in the day for me to go in the house and change and still have daylight left. I've got my beanie cap on because the weather actually changed. Whenever I pulled the engine and front clip off of this truck, it was about 60 degrees and now it's about 35. And I spent too many days during the summer when the weather was nice sitting on my couch, relaxing and watching reruns of Walker, Texas Ranger. So I didn't do a very good job at using the nice weather wisely. And then I've got to finish it all off with the sweet 1970s retro safety glasses that everybody seems to love and enjoy. But anyhow, I actually need to get this project a little bit further along. I'm going to come out here during the week after I get off of work every day, and I'm going to try to get this cab stripped from the frame. I'm not using this cab for the project. I want to get this a little bit further along before the snow sets because I can still sell this cab and front clip and get rid of a few other pieces that I don't need on this project. So without further ado, before this gets too long of an intro and I lose more daylight, let's get to work. The first thing I need to do is get in here and unhook the steering shaft. I want to leave the steering column in the cab. That way whenever I lift the cab off of there, it's still in there. I don't have to worry about another part being loose out of the cab of this truck. So I need to get in here and loosen this up. I don't want to cut anything that's important, such as this. Something that's just easy to do with a ratchet and socket is far better than getting in here with a torch and cutting this, because I can sell the steering box off of this truck if I don't need it. So there's no use cutting something up if I can get a few bucks for it. You know, it'll be funny is to take some of the daylight that you got left and record that funny little intro. And now it's almost dark out, but I got a good idea. Got a very good idea. And it's a page right out of the book of Mr. Weston Champlin out there. He done this a while back, and I'm gonna try it because I don't have a good shop light for outside anymore. Oh yeah. I think that will work. Now, I normally don't like using the torch for projects. I'd rather just use the wrenches and take the bolts out of here, but I'll take you down off the camera stand and I'll show you why I'm just going to go ahead and use the torch this time. I've got the torch down here and I wanted to show you the front cab mounts. You can see that bolt right there is rusted very badly. And normally I would just get in on the inside of the truck and take the bolts out. But you can see how nasty this truck is. Now, when I done the first video in the series on pulling the engine and the front clip off of this truck, I actually steered this while my dad was nice enough to come over and help me push this up closer to the garage with that TD6 dozer. But I'm not cleaning this cab out just to get to the bolts and to get the cab off of here. I'll just torch them off and I will clean this cab out later. So I got the cab bolts all torched off. I think I have everything off of this cab except for maybe one or two small wires that I will have to clip when the cab comes off of the frame. I got in here and used the torch on the back cab mounts. I could not get a really good shot at doing that. I would have liked to have got the camera closer, but at the same time, I don't want to ruin the lens on this camera by getting a speck of hot metal stuck into it. I got on here and I just about threw a chunk of cardboard down and figured that that would not be a good idea. I've got a lot of this plastic you may have seen in some of the other videos. I use it to cover up stuff that's sitting outside. And this is actually the type of plastic that goes in the brim of baseball caps. There's actually a cap factory in my hometown that has a lot of factories that build caps for all over the world in the United States. My parents bought a couple skids of this material. I don't know if you could hear just a minute ago in the background of the video, but this poor old cedar tree, the ice has not been very kind to it, and it broke a few limbs out of the top of it. But that kind of caught me off guard. It sounded like somebody was skidding in front of my driveway, but we'll go back down there and I'll talk about what I was just talking about a second ago before I was interrupted by this old tree. Before I was interrupted, this is actually the material that makes the brims in the baseball caps. I usually use that if I'm looking for something that will not burn. I mean, it will melt a hole in it if a hot spark from welder or a torch or something gets on here, but it will not catch on fire like cardboard will. So just slid this under the truck, torched the rear cab mount bolts off, and it's time to see if the forklift will start or if I'll have to use the dozer. Let's see if this poor old rig will start. You can definitely tell that this is going to be a cold start. This machine is completely frozen. Got the big tires up front, got ice all over them. We'll see if this thing will start up and if I can lift that cab off of the frame, if it'll actually move with these slick tires on it. If not, I'll grab the dozer and we'll go from there. Get in here and turn the fuel on. Hook the battery up. See what it'll do. That was actually very lucky. This thing's normally hard to start, but it died. Let's see if I can pull the choke out and get it to start back up. It must know that it's on camera, so for once it doesn't want to disappoint me. Now I am incredibly surprised that this actually moved. Whenever I get the weight on the front, I'm hoping that that will help me out and I can actually move this out of the way, but in all reality, I'm probably stuck right where I'm at. But just as I measured the other day, I was extremely close. You can see the backrest is actually resting up against the front bumper. My fork comes all the way in here, and I've got about 2 inches underneath that cab mount. So I'm thinking that I can barely lift this cab up. I'm going to have to hook a strap probably through the A-pillar area of this cab or something else, I'm not sure yet. Run that to the backrest on my forklift, and I can barely get this up off of the frame on the tippy toes of the forks. I can move it out of the way, and I will probably get this front clip off of the skid, and I'll probably sit the cab down on there. But let me go and try to get a strap to go around the top portion of this cab, and we'll see how things go. This thing must do horrible on gas. I fill it up every time I use it, and for some reason I keep running this thing out of gas. It's not leaking it. I guess this little engine just does terrible on fuel, but I got fuel in it. Let's try this again. pretty much covers it for today's video. I've got the body completely removed from the frame as well as the engine. I think the next video in the series will cover me removing the transmission and unhooking the PTO from it. I may even try to get in there and remove the front axle and leaf springs so I can clean the frame up before it all goes back together. Now this video series couldn't go any further without me giving a shout out to somebody that's also helped me out along the way tremendously. Now that person is Mr. J.C. Smith of J.C. Smith Projects. If you're not familiar with his channel, he works on a variety of these medium and heavy duty trucks as well as pickups. He's kind of like me, not really a car guy, only deals with the trucks, and that's what I like. Now J.C. Smith owns his own business. He buys trucks that are box trucks and flatbeds, converts them over to rollbacks and tow trucks, lengthens and shortens frames. I mean, this guy does a variety of work on these heavy duty trucks. Now he also works with his wife, and it's very awesome to see a husband and wife team work together for a common goal. They fix stuff up and resell it for their own business, and that's incredibly awesome to see nowadays. He's helped me out tremendously as well along the way, and he's also inspired me to take this project a lot further. J.C. Smith has been the biggest form of inspiration on this project. He has inspired me to build this truck better and to build it to suit my needs and liking. I just wanted to take a minute out of this video to personally thank him for that. I've also had subscribers come over due to the kind words of two other fantastic YouTube channels out there, such as Wes from Watch Wes Work and Waylon from Waylon Wires Old Iron. They have said kind things about my videos in previous videos of theirs and got subscribers sent my way, and I truly appreciate that. Now there's nothing out there that says YouTube channels have to help each other out, but I do truly believe that that is a good use of this platform. It's not only about showing people what you're working on, but it's also shedding light on other projects that people are working on and helping them out along the way. I truly appreciate all the help from these channels. They will be linked in the video description below. But thank you very much for watching this video. If you liked it, please give it a thumbs up, leave a comment or a question down below. Consider subscribing if this is the kind of content that you're into. Now, always a friendly reminder that it doesn't matter if you're working on your project in a garage or in your driveway. What matters is that you go out there, you do the job yourself, and you learn more about your project, whatever that project may be. Now that this video's over, how about you go outside and work on something? My name is Zane, and I'll catch you next time.